Your muscles are not just what move you. They are the biggest blood sugar sink in your body. After you eat, most of the glucose that leaves your bloodstream is supposed to disappear into muscle tissue, not belly fat, not some mysterious metabolism furnace. And if your muscles stop accepting that sugar efficiently, your blood becomes a crowded highway with nowhere for the traffic to go. Let's break down why your muscles control your glucose, your insulin response, your hunger, and even the shape of your waistline more than most people realize. Segment 1: The Sugar Flood. Every carbohydrate-containing meal starts the same way. Bread, rice, fruit, potatoes, pasta, even a sweet drink, all eventually break down into smaller glucose molecules. Those molecules enter your bloodstream, and for a short time, your blood becomes an energy delivery route. This is normal. Glucose is not poison. Your red blood cells need it. Your brain uses it. Your muscles can burn it. The problem is not that glucose enters the blood. The problem begins when glucose stays there too long, because the biggest storage sink is not ready to receive it. Think of your bloodstream like a city street after heavy rain. Glucose is the water rushing across the pavement. Your muscles are the storm drains. When the drains are wide open, the street clears quickly. When the drains are blocked, water pools everywhere. That pooling is what your body is trying to prevent. Segment 2: Insulin opens the gate. When glucose rises after a meal, your pancreas releases insulin. Most people think insulin is only a blood sugar hormone. That is too small. Insulin is more like a delivery signal. It tells your cells, energy is here. Open the gates. In muscle cells, those gates involve a glucose transporter called GLUT4. You can imagine GLUT4 as little docking doors stored inside the muscle cell. When insulin gives the signal, those doors move toward the cell surface. Once they appear at the surface, glucose can leave the blood and enter the muscle. This is one of the most important metabolic events in your body. Because skeletal muscle is huge. It is not one small organ. It is a massive tissue spread across your legs, hips, back, chest, shoulders, and arms. Research estimates that after a meal, skeletal muscle can account for around 80% of insulin-stimulated glucose disposal. That means your muscles are not a side player. They are the main drain. Segment 3: What muscle does with the sugar. Once glucose enters muscle, it has two main options. It can be burned for immediate energy, or it can be stored as glycogen. Glycogen is stored carbohydrate, packed inside muscle like emergency fuel on a shelf. This is why muscle matters so much after meals. It is not just using sugar. It is also storing it safely. Picture your muscles as a giant reservoir system under the city. After a storm, water has to go somewhere. If the reservoirs have space, the city stays dry. If the reservoirs are full, the streets flood. Your muscle glycogen is that reservoir space. When you move often, train your muscles, and avoid sitting all day, those reservoirs get drained and refilled. They become active. They make room. But when you are inactive for long stretches, the reservoir stays full, the gates become sluggish, and the next wave of glucose has fewer places to go. That is when insulin has to work harder. Segment 4: Insulin resistance is not a character flaw. Insulin resistance does not mean your body is broken overnight. It means your cells are not responding as strongly to the insulin signal. The pancreas knocks. The muscle does not open enough doors. So the pancreas knocks louder by releasing more insulin. At first, this can keep blood sugar looking normal. That is the hidden part. Your glucose numbers may seem fine because your pancreas is compensating. It is shouting louder to keep the street clear. But over time, that extra pressure matters. More insulin is needed to get the same job done. The drains are still there, but they are not clearing the water efficiently. This is where many people misunderstand metabolism. They think slow metabolism means the body is lazy. But often, the issue is traffic flow. Energy is arriving, but the tissue that should absorb it is not pulling it in well. You are not weak. The system is congested. Segment 5. Sitting turns the sink down. Here is the part that should change how you see a chair. Your muscles do not only absorb glucose because insulin tells them to. They also absorb glucose when they contract. This is huge. When muscle fibers contract, they can increase glucose uptake through pathways that do not rely entirely on insulin. In simple terms, moving your muscles opens another set of drains. Even if the insulin signal is not perfect, contraction gives glucose a second way out of the blood. That is why a short walk after a meal can matter. You are not burning thousands of calories. That is not the point. You are turning on the sink at the exact moment sugar is entering the bloodstream. A 10-minute walk after dinner is not magic. It is plumbing. The legs contract. The muscle cells call for fuel. Glut for doors move toward the surface. Glucose leaves the blood and enters the working tissue. The street clears faster. Segment 6. Your legs are glucose engines. Your largest muscles are in your lower body. Glutes, hamstrings, quadriceps, calves. These are not just movement muscles. They are metabolic machinery. When you walk uphill, climb stairs, squat, cycle, or lift something heavy, these muscles demand energy. That demand changes the chemistry inside the cell. The muscle does not wait politely for perfect conditions. It pulls fuel because it has work to do. This is why the lower body is so important for blood sugar control. Your thighs and hips are like massive pumps attached to your metabolism. When they are active, they create a stronger pull on circulating glucose. But when they sit unused for most of the day, the opposite happens. The pumps stay quiet. The reservoirs stay full. The next meal arrives on top of the last one. Then you wonder why you feel sleepy after eating. Your body is trying to process a delivery with the warehouse doors half open. Segment 7. Why muscle loss changes aging. As people age, they often think metabolism slows because of age alone. But one of the silent reasons is muscle loss. If you lose muscle mass and muscle quality, you lose some of the body's biggest glucose storage space. This matters. Imagine a city removing storm drains every decade, then acting surprised when the streets flood after rain. Less muscle means less tissue available to receive glucose. Less active muscle means weaker glucose demand. Over time, this can make the same meal produce a larger blood sugar challenge. This does not mean everyone needs to become a bodybuilder. It means muscle is metabolic real estate. The more healthy, active muscle you keep, the more places glucose can safely go. Walking helps. Resistance training helps. Carrying groceries helps. Climbing stairs helps. Any activity that asks muscle to contract sends a message. Open the gates. Segment 8. Belly fat enters the story. So where does belly fat fit? Belly fat is not just stored calories sitting quietly under the skin. The deeper fat around the organs, called visceral fat, is more metabolically active. It can release inflammatory signals and fatty acids that interfere with insulin signaling, especially when it accumulates over time. That means the relationship can become a loop. Inactive muscle pulls less glucose from the blood. Insulin has to rise higher. Energy storage becomes easier. Visceral fat can grow. That deeper fat can make insulin signaling worse. Then the muscles respond even less efficiently. The loop feeds itself. This is why focusing only on abdominal exercises misses the mechanism. Crunches can strengthen your abs, but they do not automatically fix the traffic system. The bigger question is whether your large muscles are regularly pulling glucose out of the blood. Your waistline is not just about the stomach. It is about the whole metabolic network. Segment 9. The myth of burning calories. Most people view exercise through the calorie lens. They ask, how many calories did I burn? That question is incomplete. Sometimes the more important question is, what signal did I send? A walk after a meal may not burn a dramatic number of calories. But it sends a powerful timing signal. It tells muscle to take up glucose while glucose is available. Resistance training may not feel like cardio, but it builds and preserves the tissue that stores glucose later. Even breaking up long sitting periods can wake up muscle activity. The calorie model sees exercise as a payment. The body sees it as a command. Contract now. Absorb fuel. Make room. Improve the next response. This is why movement timing matters. A workout once per day is useful, but it does not erase every hour of stillness. Your muscles are living tissue. They respond to repeated signals. Long silence teaches them to be quiet. Frequent contraction teaches them to listen. Segment 10. How to use the muscle sink safely. The practical idea is simple. Do not let your biggest glucose sink sleep through your biggest glucose load. After meals, especially larger carbohydrate meals, use your muscles gently. Walk for 10 to 20 minutes if that is safe for you. Stand up and move around. Do light housework. Climb a few stairs. The goal is not punishment. The goal is activation. During the week, add some form of resistance work. This could be weights, bands, machines, bodyweight exercises, or slow controlled movements. The point is to give your muscles a reason to stay strong and glucose hungry. And spread movement through the day. If you sit for hours, take short movement breaks. Your body was not designed for one heroic workout followed by 12 hours of stillness. It was designed for repeated use. But keep the safety boundary clear. If you have diabetes, take glucose-lowering medication, have a history of hypoglycemia, are pregnant, have chest pain, fainting, severe symptoms, blood pressure medication changes, or any medical concern, do not change exercise, diet, or medication routines without qualified medical guidance. This is physiology, not a prescription. The final picture. Your muscles are not just for strength, shape, or athletic performance. They are where your body sends a huge amount of meal energy. They are the storm drains, the reservoirs, the pumps, and the storage rooms of glucose control. When they are active, glucose has somewhere to go. Insulin does not have to shout as loudly. Meals create less traffic. Energy moves into tissue that can use it. When they are inactive, the system gets crowded. Blood sugar rises more easily. Insulin works harder. Storage pressure builds. So the next time you finish a meal, do not only think about what you ate. Think about where that energy is supposed to go. Your muscles are waiting for a signal. Move them, and you open the drain.